Hi, my name is Shelby and I am a first year ambulatory care pharmacy resident.
Hey everybody, it's Tara Thompson from the Sexual Health Pharmacist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derry, and I am currently a retail pharmacist.
Since 2018, October 12th has signified Women Pharmacist Day as a way to honor the women of this healthcare profession. Women pharmacists make up over half the pharmacist workforce, and in today's video, we are highlighting some of those amazing women. The first question I asked them was, what does a day in your life look like?
I'm going to share a little bit more about what my day-to-day job looks like as a clinical pharmacist in an inpatient setting. And guys, it can range from order entry to working with providers on dosing, to answering drug information questions, code blue response, checking medications, clinical activities such as renally dosing medications, substituting the meds, vancomycin and other antibiotic consults, IV to PO, precepting students, attending meetings, all sorts of things.
A typical day of work for me includes coming into work and checking the COVID scheduler. COVID vaccines are very important right now, so I definitely want to make sure I have everything prepared to run smoothly as we get multiple appointments per day. After that, I will go ahead and start to do my normal daily tasks of pre-verifying and verifying prescriptions. Along with that comes with calling doctors' offices, checking the voicemails, and doing any transfers that we may have had for the day. Even though I do work in retail, we do have a clinical aspect of retail pharmacy, which includes calling patients, making sure they're being adherent to their medications, make sure they know why they're taking certain medications, how to take it, and just to make sure they fully understand what they're taking and why. Additionally, we also recommend vaccines. Flu season is coming up, so of course we do a lot of recommending of vaccines, making sure patients are up to date on all of their vaccines for their certain age. So that is one thing too that we do on a clinical basis. I also recommend a lot of over-the-counter medications, and I do a lot of counseling to patients on different things that are over-the-counter, whether it's for first aid or if it's just for a common cold.
A day for me in the life of a pharmacist. Well, I'm in my car and it's full to the brim. I just finished seeing patients for 2 days at our hospital and in our ICU. And I do that part-time because I don't want to leave the career that built me and my company. So a day for me looks like getting up, if I'm not at the hospital, going to my warehouse, assembling my team. I have a team of 7 women that work for me, and I compound products, about 26 products, usually compound no more than 3 a day, and everything that comes with business. That is compounding, that is sterile practices, that is lot numbering and keeping data collections of our product, heat sealing, labeling, and shipping out to customers. And then I come home after usually about a 14-hour day, and the work keeps going.
I previously worked as an inpatient hospital pharmacist as well as a clinic pharmacist. I now work as a medical science liaison. And what brought me to this medical science liaison role is a podcast I run. It is called Your Fertility Pharmacist, and it's for educated women who are interested in learning more about new fertility research. So from my foundations as a hospital pharmacist and even from pharmacy school, I had learned how to break down a journal article, and that's what I do on this podcast is I break down the strengths and the weaknesses and really what the article is talking about so that a woman who needs this kind of research can bring it back to her provider and have a discussion.
Honestly, a lot of my days look really different. I normally have 1 or 2 classes a day. Most days it's 2 classes. Fridays I have 3, and Thursdays I only have 1, which is really nice. So my schedule looks really open, but we also do IPPE rotations. So for me, I usually have 1 or 2 days a week that I am either going into a clinic or volunteering at a vaccine clinic or working with the APPE students that are also working with my preceptor. And then I also work at a children's hospital here in Kansas City, which I absolutely love. I want to go into pediatric pharmacy, so it's something that I really value. I work there twice a week, so I work every Sunday. The time kind of varies, but it's an 8-hour shift. And then on Wednesdays, I work a 4-hour shift from 5 to 9 p.m. I normally get up around 6 a.m. I try to work out every morning.
So a day in my life at the hospital depends on which shift I work, because each shift has different responsibilities at my hospital. We don't have designated clinical pharmacists and non-clinical pharmacists, so we all share responsibilities, which I really enjoy actually, because then, every day is different and I don't have to just verify orders or just do the clinical work. I do a little bit of everything. Daily, we'll come in and collect all the vancomycin pharmacokinetic folders and go through all of those, check renal function, address dosing changes, anything that needs to be done for those. Right now, we're also checking up on all of our remdesivir patients and monitoring their labs as well. And then we'll start verifying orders. We also are kind of old old school in the fact that we have a med cart. So we also have to check the whole med cart, and we check all of our Pyxis fills and answer any phone calls within there. We have to check all the IV medications that the technicians have made.
I start my day around 4:30 a.m. and we usually have school from around 8 to 12, and then sometimes we have meetings, and when we're not in the meetings we do lunch, and then we meet with our study group to study for the rest of the afternoon, also while taking some fun breaks. When I'm working though, we are constantly helping patients, dealing with insurances, and giving flu vaccines and COVID vaccines.
The answer is that it's different every day. I work in a community hospital as a staff pharmacist, so we kind of do a little bit of everything. I profile orders for the entire house, which means I review them as they come in, make sure everything's accurate, and I mean every unit from labor and delivery to the ER to oncology and all the way up to the intensive care unit. We handle it all.
As a student, my days are a little hectic, so I start at 7:30, heading off to work at Purdue's Academic Success Center. There, I help with any projects that the professional staff need assistance with, as well as educating students on our services. Then around lunchtime, I head to class, and currently I am taking patient safety and health policy, therapeutics, as well as a biotech course. After my classes are done for the day, I start my evening meetings. So these are for various extracurriculars like my research projects, Rho Chi, Kappa Epsilon, and a few other involvements I have. After that, I get to head home and start grinding on assignments and studying for the evening. I'm definitely a night owl, so the schedule sort of works for me.
I'm an ambulatory care resident for Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist in Winston-Salem, and each day is a different day in the life for me because we complete a longitudinal rotation model where each day of the week, Monday through Friday, is a different rotation that we're completing. So one day I can be working in an anticoagulation clinic and then rounding with physicians in the outpatient setting to complete pharmacy medication reconciliations or provide anything pharmacy need related. Tuesdays and Thursdays I work in a population health team where we have referrals from the health system, from providers for anything medication related. So this could be medication access or counseling patients on how to inject their Humira or counseling patients on how to use their glucometer and things like that. Wednesdays I work in a pharmacist-run clinic seeing patients on chronic disease state management. And Fridays I really love working as the clinical pharmacist in a medical resident-run clinic.
My program is designed as a block schedule, so I have one class every 2 weeks, and I also have some longitudinal classes, so my days are pretty packed. I'm usually in school from 8 to 4, sometimes 8 to 6, kind of depends on the day. I spend the day watching lectures, reviewing the material, sometimes doing group work activities, reviewing on a lunch break, and then when I come home, I'll generally relax, have dinner, maybe watch YouTube or TikTok or something, and then I'll review again between 7 and 9, and sometimes I'll study as late as up to 11 or midnight, just depends on the day.
A day in my life is always very different because I split my time in many aspects of pharmacy. 2 days a week I'm in the hospital. I actually thought I would grow old as a retail pharmacist, but I left to become a pharmacist entrepreneur. I'm known online as HG Pharmacist because my consulting business has worked with women suffering from hyperemesis gravidarum, which is extreme nausea and vomiting during pregnancy. I help them by using pharmacogenetic testing and patient advocacy to do comprehensive medication management. Literally, women all around the world, I ease their suffering physically, mentally, even financially, and educate their providers, and it's the most rewarding thing, which is why I love being a pharmacist. I actually do the same thing for seniors as well.
A typical day in my life really depends on what rotation I'm on. Right now I'm on my oncology rotation, so I'll go to the cancer center in the morning at the hospital. Pharmacists will review, verify chemotherapy regimens. I'll review patients to make sure that they're on the right dose, the right medication at the right time. And as a resident, I'll also be rounding with the physicians when they see their patients in clinic for chemotherapy or other things. And I'll also be with the ambulatory care pharmacist seeing patients one-on-one to help manage their oral chemotherapy regimens. I also will give topic discussions or other presentations throughout the entire month on rotation. As a resident, I also work
work. So I'll go to the hospital in the evenings or on the weekends and work shifts as a pharmacist, as well as working on lots of longitudinal presentations, projects, and my research.
My typical day in pharmacy is doing research. So I am a compounding pharmacist and I also specialize in women's health. So we're also always looking for new information, new clinical data, new drug information, new drug combos that we can make for patients to help them with their conditions. We know in school that we don't get a whole lot of information on women's health or female sexual dysfunction, pelvic pain, and those types of things. So I do a lot of research and advocacy around that, just trying to get help out there for women who may need it for these particular conditions.
As you can see, there are so many different aspects of pharmacists' life, and these women are doing fantastic things to improve patient care and health outcomes. If you want to see what a day in my life looks like, check out the Day in a Life playlist over on the Happy Pharm Life YouTube channel. Aside from the day-to-day aspects of the job, I also wanted to hear about what they enjoyed doing as a pharmacist, so my next question for them was, what is your favorite thing about being a pharmacist?
And guys, what I love about pharmacy is how integral we are to the healthcare team. And we provide such a unique perspective based on the training that we have and becoming the medication experts, and that it optimizes patient care, and it's great for our patient, but it's also really wonderful to provide that point of view for the providers that we work with as well. So we are just in such a unique position to bring our knowledge and our expertise to the table.
One of my favorite things about being a pharmacist is helping other people live healthier lives. I have had a few patients that were on certain medications, but after making a few daily changes to their diet and to their lifestyle, they were able to discontinue a few medications. Even though pharmacy is my job, I don't like to see a lot of patients on 10 or 12 different medications. You know, if there's a way I can help them, give them a little tip here and there to help them decrease some of their medications, that is one thing that I do like to do.
My favorite thing about being a pharmacist is all of the different things you can do with a pharmaceutical background. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would have created a skincare company and stepped outside of a traditional pharmacist role, I would have laughed. But I love that there's so many opportunities in the pharmacy field to really be creative about what ways you can use your education.
My favorite thing about being a pharmacist, probably just working with other healthcare providers, using a team effort to treat the patient. I love helping physicians dose medications and being, a useful contribution to the team, basically, for patient care. That's my favorite part.
Best part or favorite part as being a student pharmacist would have to be impact that I get to make on my patients' lives and the conversations that we get to have.
I think it offers a lot of variety, which is actually my favorite thing about being in pharmacy. Pharmacy is just so varied. There's a multitude of opportunities for you within pharmacy, whether that's in the inpatient setting, the outpatient setting, working for a drug company. You can do it all, and I think that that's really unique to pharmacy, and that's why I love it so much.
As a student, my favorite thing is just getting to explore the profession and seeing how I want to use pharmacy to make an impact on the world. One piece of advice I gained really early on was to just explore as much as I could and keep an open mind, and I've definitely held on to that and explored some traditional and non-traditional paths as well.
What I love most about being a pharmacist is working in the AM care setting and being able to partner with patients and create impactful, meaningful relationships with them. I really love talking to people.
But my favorite thing about pharmacy is medication safety. I'm a huge advocate for medication being safe, effective, and necessary for the patient. And I'm also really big on the patient being able to fully understand the treatment they're getting and to fully consent once they are fully understanding.
My favorite thing about being a pharmacist is definitely talking to patients and helping them better understand how their medications work, especially patients that are confused, worried, or scared of the medications that they're on or don't understand how they work, and being able to explain it in a way where they feel empowered and understand and are able to better take charge of their own health.
My favorite thing about pharmacy is that I get to use my chemistry background, my pharmacology information to see what drugs are doing inside of the body and how we can use those drugs to help women and help women with sexual dysfunctions.
Personally, my favorite thing is being able to have an impact on patient lives and some days even saving a few lives thanks to the medication knowledge and expertise expertise I can provide to the healthcare team. So I know that some of you watching this video may be interested in becoming a woman pharmacist yourself, and if that is you, I think you will enjoy this next question, which was, what is the advice do you have for women who are interested in becoming a pharmacist?
For any woman in pharmacy who is considering a career in pharmacy or what they want to do next, I would say go for your dreams. I am seeing so many amazing career opportunities that are kind of outside of the box, meaning not just in the retail or the hospital setting. And I would say figure out what areas interest you, see if you can network, see if you can have a mentor, see if you can shadow in these areas, and really no dream is unobtainable. There are people that are doing just such amazing work advancing our profession clinically. They're made a career out of consulting, they're in pharma, becoming legal experts, just all sorts of really, really neat opportunities out there.
My advice for anyone looking to go into the field of pharmacy would be to make sure you have a passion for pharmacy. If you're able to, definitely get a job at a pharmacy just to see how things run. That way you'll know kind of what to expect. But I would also say to research different fields of pharmacy. There's more than just retail and hospital pharmacy out there, as well as make sure you find a school that fits you. There's different types of schools. There are 4-year schools, there's 3-year schools, and there's also a few online schools as well. I chose to go to a 3-year school, and that was what fit best for me. So definitely do your research and just make sure that if you go into the field of pharmacy, that's something that you really want to do, and helping people is one of your goals.
I think specifically for women in the pharmacy field, it's very important to keep your mind open, specifically if you want to be a mom one day, specifically if you want to be married one day. Those take a different type of balancing act for your life. So it's really important to know that what you need now as a pharmacist in your life and your quality of life might look different in 10 years. And there are ways to find the best fit for you in the career and in the field.
Seek out mentors. Don't be afraid to reach out to anyone who has a position that may interest you. Try to spend a day with them or even a few hours. Get to know what their likes are and what their dislikes are of the position. Maybe even spend it with a couple different people so you can notice a pattern. I would do this in your first few years of pharmacy school and try to tailor your rotations in your final year accordingly. I would also encourage everyone to get a residency if you are able to. It did provide me with education even beyond what I received in pharmacy school. Having that residency and the strong pharmacy foundation I had, I believe has allowed me to have a lot of different opportunities in pharmacy. And that's one of the reasons I really do enjoy having a PharmD. And I think it's one of the best things about being a pharmacist is that you have so many different ways you can take this role.
As for advice on becoming a pharmacist, I would definitely recommend if you have a really strong interest in math and chemistry, those are probably the biggest 2 components to pharmacy school. If you're already in pharmacy school, I would highly recommend forming relationships with everybody who you go on rotations with. Pharmacy is a relatively small world. You're likely to see those people again and may even be applying for a job with them. So as with any field, it's who you know, and a lot of times that overrules everything, but usually it's who you know and then your experience that will land you a job.
You have to remember your why, and you have to keep going. That's gonna help you get through the hard days. And find your people, because you need your people. Try to stay positive, because you never know that the impact that you're making on your patients. And also just remember to take care of yourself. I think sometimes we get busy taking care of all of our patients and we forget that we are important too. And remember that there's a whole world of people out there that have been in pharmacy, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out to one of us and we can help you on your way.
Never, ever give up. Always stick with it no matter what happens. If there's a bump in the road or someone telling you you can't, tune them out, because girl, you can.
My piece of advice for women who are pursuing pharmacy is to network with as many people as possible. Growing up as a shy kid, I never thought I'd be saying this, but the connections I've made with various people in different sectors of pharmacy and outside of pharmacy have been very valuable to where I am today. I've gained awesome opportunities like mentorship and internships, shadowing, and things of that nature that have really helped me grow as a pharmacy student. So I encourage you to do the same.
Have confidence in yourself and the knowledge that you have and the value that you bring to the healthcare team.
If you are passionate about it and you love it, you should absolutely do it. We need more people who are passionate about the fields that they go into. And as a mother, I kind of hesitated because I didn't know if the field would work for me or if pharmacy school would work for me. But But even having kids, like, I have found such a great support group. Hearing from other pharmacists, like how they've been able to make it work, it's more than doable. So if you want to be a pharmacist, you should absolutely follow your dreams.
My advice to women who are interested in becoming a pharmacist is it's not just about being in the medical profession. It's about standing our ground, knowing our value, and knowing what we're worth. Be a lobbyist for yourself and for the profession. Know what you can do, what you can bring to yourself, what you can bring to the health and wellness of our society. And that's what makes me proud to be a pharmacist. And that's what I would advise you to do as well. Don't be beat up by a corporation. There's so much more you can do as a pharmacist. Reach to your mentors, reach to your networks, and be proud of who you are and what you're doing. We have this amazing network of female pharmacists here for you. So reach out and be proud of who you are and what you do.
My best tip for women that are interested in pursuing pharmacy is to find a mentor in your life that can help guide you and motivate you, encourage you along the way. Mentors are super important in pharmacy and pursuing a pharmacy career. And I wouldn't be here today without the women mentors and other mentors in my life that I've had as a student and now as a pharmacist. And I can't wait to also be that mentor for as many people as I can as I'm starting my pharmacy career.
Never stop learning. I tell this to my students every day. I tell this to myself and my brain every day, is never stop learning. There's always new information out there. There's always new drugs coming out. There's always new literature. And it is up to us to be stewards of that information as pharmacists, as the drug experts, as we call ourselves. If we truly are the drug experts, we truly need to be on top of that literature and that current information. So keep learning every single day. Learn one new thing every single day. And then by the end of the year, you'll have learned 365 new things. That's my philosophy anyways.
My best advice is to just go for it. Becoming a pharmacist is a long and difficult journey, but if you believe in yourself and put in the hard work, you will be amazed at where you could end up. Maybe next year, you could be featured in this video. Thank you for helping me honor some of the amazing women pharmacists out there by hearing their stories today. Make sure you drop them a thank you down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye!